Hey there, my sweet cancers. Welcome to your reading. We're just going to jump right in. In the recent past, it looks like we dealt with the end of a relationship. For some of you, for a very small percentage of you, this is talking about the end of a friendship. But for the majority, this is talking about the end of a romantic relationship where I'm getting that you would probably describe this person as your everything. They were your best friend. They were your romantic partner. Some of you were even involved in business here. Again, very few. We have this 6 and 2 of Pentacles, but regardless, the end of this connection either is very recent or just like the ending has been on your mind as of late. For some, I'm getting to like this was you maybe felt conflicted about the end of it. Maybe you were getting advice from like trusted friends or people in your social circle that were, it seems like there were it seems like ultimately the choice to end this like relationship, this connection wasn't necessarily something that you were even fully confident in. I'm going to be honest. This seems like it was a choice that had to be made because you needed something to change. Something had to change here with this like the way that it's all connected. I'm seeing like I'm getting at a certain point maybe it felt like the kinds of losses outweighed the wins in this relationship. Things just got too heavy at a certain point where you had to step away, you had to walk away. Something had to change, right? And this really feels like this is one of those things where the connection went on for some time. This feels like there's just such a weight to this connection. For a lot of you, it's like this was years, but others, it's just it feels like you knew this person in such a way that the ending was really God. I'm just seeing so much conflict. Like there's so much back and forth when it comes to this decision. Um, but you just knew that it couldn't go on. If it continued on in the way that it was, things would have gotten nasty. Things could have gotten ugly. Do you know what I mean? So ultimately, the end of this relationship sparked both of you on a path of growth. And I think in a way that neither of you really understand just what the like perceived loss of each other, what that triggered in the other. And I'm saying perceived because you didn't really lose them. I- and I feel like you're the type of person that understands that ultimately like even when you're with someone that they're not actually yours to have. I, I feel like that doesn't even matter. This is all I are all of the twos out. All of the twos in this in the deck are out, including the high priestess. I- This is such a mirrored connection where I truly feel like you guys don't even understand what the like separation point has done to the other. In the present moment, this growth and this transformation is bringing like I'm seeing you both are reflecting on this. We literally have death, ace of swords, and the 6 of cups. This is talking about understanding, coming to an even greater understanding of how this connection helped move you forward in a way that you could not grow together with each other, but the pain honestly that came with the ending of this connection like forced you guys to see. And what I'm really getting is that for this could be for both of you, but really for someone in this connection, and it's interesting because usually it comes through pretty clearly whether it's like which energy it is, but it these are so mixed together. It feels like one or both of you, I feel like both of you took a lot of things in the relationship personally, right? That were not personal. Like this is really talking about two people who really loved and cared for one another, but because of their own reasons, for their past reasons, had honestly a bit of a difficult time fully understanding one another. Like there were certain things that would happen where if you took it personally or were like offended by it, but it was just because this person had certain wounding within themselves from their past, from their childhood, from other relationships, where it's like they weren't trying to harm you in any way, but like the way that you both were, right, triggered each other in this way where you just there was something that just didn't fully click in the connection. But this time apart has truly brought those kinds of, what's the word I'm looking for? Those wounds, brought those to light. And I think there's been an understanding that each of you were just, doing the best with what you had at the time. And that neither of you wanted to harm one another, right? But there's also been a kind of ownership in this separation phase of the wounds, and the way that, regardless of if it was your intention or not, understanding that like this is what happened, and that you were both unable to provide what the other person truly needed, and what you both wanted to give to this connection is like another thing I want to like emphasize. Like, this Six of Pentacles is talking about like really a desire for the equal give and take, but like there was a lot going on here internally with both of you that ultimately led to this kind of separation, where now, as time and effort has been put into developing the self, to growing, to really, I'm getting like emotionally, there's such like I'm just seeing growth and understanding of the cause of like certain reactions, or certain ideas and things like that, and truly wanting to mature and grow through them. That now so much of like what was causing this kind of like overthinking and this conflict and this tension, like actually in the relationship when you two were together, it's like, oh my gosh, if I had just been able to sit down and like talk and express myself and the feelings that I had, you know what I mean? I'm getting like there was a lot of shame that's kind of been washed away around the ideas of how like romantic relationships should exist and how they should operate, if that makes sense. I think there was a lot of issues around expressing needs in this relationship. um there was a lot of just like, well, it should feel like this, or I should be doing like this, or you should have done that kind of thinking, that was not helpful at all to the relationship. So in the near future, and I am at the very center of this spread is an Ace of Swords. So if someone, you know what I mean, is, I'm seeing, again, this is contemplation, I'm not seeing action, so I just will be honest with you, until a little bit further in the future, we do have the Two of Wands. So, you both could really be contemplating having an honest, vulnerable conversation. We have the heart chakra aligned with it. So, like a very just honest, vulnerable conversation about what happened and where you were both at now. I see that happening in the future, though. The action doesn't come until later. In the present moment, this is we're still in the thinking part. But this is trusting that, like, that deeper feeling, that deeper knowing. Lots of heart centered energy here. So just getting to the truth of the feeling of the thing, right? I don't know why I'm hearing like the details don't matter so much. Maybe you're kind of at that point where like all of the kind of, I'm seeing like someone kind of keeping tally, like all the things that you could say that I did wrong, and all the things that I could like come back and say that you did wrong, or whatever, all the justifications, whatever. None of that is going to matter so much. This feels like two people just coming together and being like, I'm sorry. And like, you know what I mean? That kind of a thing. Like, can we please just, it's interesting too, because I'm hearing someone be like, can we just bury it? But at the same time, I think you both are like, you would be willing to hash anything out again and like just own it and apologize. Like, this really feels like the kind of reading where it's just like two people that are fully willing to take accountability and work towards it, because there's just this remembering. I'm feeling it's really interesting. And I'm also seeing you both are like almost wanting to show the other how much you have to offer now. It's like, I'm so much better now, I could be so much better for you now, that kind of a thing, where you really want to show up. A last note before I pull an oracle. This is the moon came out here right at the end, tied to this Nine of Cups in this Two of Wands, which is to say that I really think when it comes to the work that you and this other person have been doing, has been a lot of shadow work, a lot of looking internally, Just, looking at yourself and being like, what is going on? Why am I attracting this kind of partner? Why is this the kind of pattern that I'm playing out? Why is this the kind of, uh, you know, care or treatment that I'm willing to accept? And what is stopping me from expressing the kind of care and treatment that I want to give to a partner, that I want to contribute to like a successful, healthy relationship? All of that kind of a thing, right? So if you've been doing, shadow work, that's great. I'm really proud of you. Keep going. It's working. Okay. The energy here is just like very almost at peace with what, like, to kind of be the issue. And you're like, I'm working through it. And eventually things will shake out, which is a really great mindset to have, Cancer. Let's pull an oracle for you, get some advice, and then we'll close out the reading, Cancer. If you do know your sun, moon, and your rising, and you want to check out other readings, I'm doing 2 readings a day, every day this week. So by the end of the week, we'll have them all out, and you can check them out. 2 cards came out. And I literally, when I just did Gemini's reading, I was like, 2 cards don't always come out. But now I'm pretty sure, like, most of the readings I have done so far, which has only been 4, I'm pretty sure 3 of them have had 2 cards. So me saying that doesn't usually happen just doesn't mean anything now, does it? Okay, we have number 31, Hercules, strength, and number 7, Libra, balance. Let's do number 7 first. Let's see what it has to say. It says, nature seeks balance, and so should you. Avoid extremes. Moderation is key in this situation. Stop burning the candle at both ends. Work smarter, not harder. Weigh up all the possibilities before making a decision. Make sure you are seeing both sides of the situation. Imbalance without check leads to chaos, poor choices, lack of boundaries, anger, and confusion. Do you know what's interesting? When I said that you were both willing to take accountability, the first word that came to mind was responsibility. Like that you would both be willing to take full responsibility for what happened, and that's not the case, and not how it should be, and not, what reality is anyway, right? So yes, be aware of that. If you are beating yourself up endlessly and you're like blaming yourself for the ending of this relationship or thinking about all the things you could have done differently, don't do that. That's not helpful, right? Number 31, Hercules, strength. It says strength can take some time to develop, and it is like a muscle in that we must exercise it regularly. Resilience is only part of strength. Discipline and staying true to oneself is a type of strength. All right, Cancer. And that just made me think that if you've been feeling any type of guilt, because back at the top of the reading, we were talking about how maybe someone got some advice from like friends or family or something like that, and maybe made a decision that they didn't feel the most confident in. It's okay to understand that maybe you were moved in a way, or allowed yourself to be moved is how I want to frame it. Allowed your kind of opinion or like decision making to be influenced in a way that maybe now you're like, I should have just trusted myself or my own intuition or whatever. That's okay. It's all right. There's no need in, and again, beating yourself up. Don't beat yourself up if you've been doing that. I know it's easier said than done, but be gentle with yourself, Cancer. Okay, you're doing great. I hope that this helped. That's all I have for you guys. I hope to see you next time. You know the deal. I appreciate all the button pushing. I already said see you next time. Bye.